It is your boy Ethereal here again with a one-take scriptless video on whether you should pull for Skara or Kokomi. I screwed that up. Alright, cut that. Obviously, the Wanderer and the Kokomi rerun banner is going to be coming around, I believe, at least for Asia, it should be about 1 week away. Let me go look at the banner real quick. So we have about 6 days, basically next Tuesday evening for Asia and probably 1 or 2 days late for NA and a few hours late for EU. So let's start off with the first character that I can actually speak about, Wanderer aka Scaramouche. Ignore his name, that's just me memeing around. So Skara is a 5-star Anemo Catalyst character, with his role best described as an on-field damage dealer DPS character, or you can even use him as a 4-piece Viridescent Venera elemental driver support DPS thingy, basically like an on-field driver. And so I would say my personal experience with Skara, so far Skara has been pretty good. While I would say his personal damage is underwhelming, but that is why Faruzan exists, because Faruzan, if you guys may or may not know, well, has the ability to basically buff all sources of Nemo damage. However, that also comes with a very big problem. So if you do intend to run Skara for like a hyper carry DPS build, you do need to build your Faruzan pretty well with a whole lot of ER, like I'm talking 250, 260 ER. But and on top of that, my Faruzan is Constellation 0, while I would be expecting to pull some Constellations as I try to pull for Kokomi in the upcoming banner. It is quite difficult to play or justify playing Hyper Carry Wanderer simply because in certain situations the damage will not be able to keep up with the Spiral Abyss. At least we're talking about his performance meta-wise. However, we do have his alternate gameplay, which involves basically running him on a 4-piece Viridescent on-field driver. Like you could basically run, let's say, Skara as the 4th flex slot in the national team, and with the Viridescent set, it can actually work pretty well if you don't need, say, a driver or a crowd control character like Kazuha or Sucrose in your team. So I will be showing you guys the 2 different teams, describing the 2 different playstyles that we can really make work right now. So we're gonna run with the regular Zhongli for the shield with Bennett, Faruzan, and Skara. So the thing about Faruzan is, the weird thing is that, so his elemental skill gives him the ability to fly, right? And he basically enhances the damage from his normal and charge attacks. However, it does give him this weird vulnerability to getting staggered for a little bit longer than characters that are on the ground. Because for whatever reason, when Skara gets knocked mid-air, he takes a little while to recover, probably because of like the mechanics with how it actually works. So that's why in generally any Faruzan team, oh my bad, I mean Skara teams, I usually run a shield like Zhongli to not only get the resistance shred from his elemental skill from the shield, it's also nice to just not get interrupted. And obviously his burst is pretty straightforward, you just kick the ground and it just does damage. So I'll just quickly show you guys a quick demonstration between 2 different teams. As per me will try to do this. So right now the current Abyss, as you guys know, the 3.7 Abyss was the hardest one. So now it's not as bad. I find that this Abyss has been pretty fun. So that's some really nice damage from Skara. So now I'm just gonna chill here. So the one thing is that every few times you would gain this sharp sound, and essentially it will give you a free dash that doesn't actually cost stamina, because Skara, when he is mid-flight, he does have a separate stamina system, which is limited whether you want to go up or fly up, and it will be consumed. However, if you do a few normal attacks, you could like gain that. You see that sharp thing? If I dash right now, it will shoot these wind arrows, and that will basically make the charging free. And it's also pretty nice. Normal attacks, personally, when I play Skara, I don't really like using his normal attacks build, because it's kinda, well, I don't really fancy it that much essentially, because I feel like it's a bit snappy and it's a bit weird, and like, to be honest, like apparently like charge attack is actually much better, so I much prefer that. And as you can see, we're doing 42, 43k charge attack. I don't really remember the blessing. That's what I'm talking about, by the way. Every time he gets knocked out, it feels like he's just standing there for like much longer than usual, which is very, I don't really like it. So that's why running Skara without a shield would be kinda, yes, it's not that great. However, if you run Skara with this build with a C0 Faruzan, as you can see, his damage is actually quite decent. It's just that, obviously, if you run Mono Nemo, this guy's shield, I'm going to suffer by not actually having the damage to be able to break it. And also the Rift Hounds really don't want to get grouped up, so there's that. But other than that, I would say he's pretty good. But that is in terms of meta, right? So if you were to talk about, let's say, exploration, I'm just going to leave real quick. If you were to talk about exploration, his ability of flight actually makes it easy for you to cross certain ravines. Like right now, I can actually show you guys a very quick example on how this is really, really helpful in overall. And I would argue this is actually better in Kazuha in this very specific situation. So let's say there's a ravine right here, right? There's a small like cliff over there that you want to get to the other side. So what you could do is you can use the elemental skill and you can just fly to the other side and you're done. That's it. And with the topographical layer, or with how the topographical layer for Teyvat is, there are a lot of these kind of cliffs that you can really use Skara to just quickly cross to the other side. And if you want to actually get more vantage, what you could actually do is be applied with Heizou, because one of his passives is that he absorbs the element upon casting his elemental skill for whatever element that is basically within a small range. So as you can see here, Hydro increases the stamina point when he is in his flight mode, Pyro increases his attack by a certain amount, Cryo is crit rate, Electro, it basically gives energy every time you hit enemies with any normal or charge attack. So usually, right, it's quite easy to gain all these buffs. I think C0 Skara, you can only gain like, let's say maybe maximum of 2 stacks, while C1 Skara, I think C4 Skara allows you to like get 3 different elements at the same time because it's like random. So I would say in terms of abilities for exploration, I think he's really great. His damage may not be the best without Faruzan. However, in the overworld, that is not a problem because there is not really any difficult enemy or any bullet sponge enemy in the overworld, and he's been really helpful for like crossing the ravines like this. Like once again, another example, I could just use my skill and I'm already on the other side. No other character can do that. Kazuha, you just have to glide a bit, and even that takes time. So that's my overall verdict for Skara. I think he's great for exploration if you guys really want to find a character that makes exploring Teyvat a little bit easier. But other than that, in terms of damage performance, it's not bad, but you do require Faruzan to do a DPS team, which, speaking of DPS team, I haven't actually shown you guys another role. So I'm going to quickly cut myself out, and I will swap my artifacts to a 4 Viridescent piece. So post-edit me is gonna cut that out really, really quickly. Alright, so this is my Skara stats with a 4 Viridescent banner. My artifacts for 4VV is not really that great, and keep in mind I do have the Witsif at level 90, so his stats are very much boosted. And I'm gonna go show you guys quickly one of my, recently discovered team. I actually recorded a video and uploaded this on my channel because someone wanted to ask if like they could run a Wanderer Permafreeze team. So over here, let me just find the characters real quick. I'm going to quickly show you guys a very interesting build.
One eternity later.
So obviously this team doesn't really have a healer, but if you count Xingqiu's damage reduction and his Rain Sword's healing a little bit, you know, let me use this just to get a bit of healing. So alright, anyways, the Abyss Guide, I'm still working on that right now, so this video would be up a bit early because I'm not really going to be editing too much of it. So we're going to do this, and then obviously like, going to use Rosaria, do that. And then use Faruzan's skill, and then we should be able to do big damage burst. So what's nice about this team is that because when enemies are frozen, they still have like a cryo aura that kind of acts like a cryo aura, which I think makes it really cool because, well, what's the word for it? Because basically, right, because Skara is an Anemo character and thus he has access to the ability to swirl one of the 4 main elements. And by constantly doing this, I can technically just do this. Like just look at it, look at that. It's great. Everyone's just being put in place. And the reason why I'm running Permafreeze for this half of the Abyss, I haven't really showed that in the guide video. But essentially, what's the word for it? Yep, basically that guy. You see that Abyss Lector right there? But yeah, this team can actually clear pretty well. But keep in mind that that's because my investment level is quite high. So essentially what I do is I just try to hug the enemies because Xingqiu's Rain Sword does actually put some good Hydro. And now I just kind of stay far away because I think that guy's about to burst. Alright. Okay, now I just need to go to that side. I need to trigger Sack Sword real quick. There you go. And then do that. And I'm gonna go to this side because the Rift Hound is gonna come to me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just gonna kind of relax here. Although my healing is a little bit screwed up, but it's fine. I do have to dodge a little bit, that's a problem. So yeah, this team is actually pretty nice. I really like it. And the time is a little bit off, but it should be fine. So we're just gonna finish this guy off, and that's great. So yeah, as you can see, this team has been really entertaining. I could probably like show some footage of maybe me running National really quickly. But yeah, Skara is really great. So this talk has gone long enough. I'm probably gonna have to cut it a little bit here and there. So the second half, this character, I don't think I can relate, but I'll be putting some footage of me running my Viewers Abyss, where they have Kokomi. So Kokomi is a character I would like to get, because as you can see here, one of the characters that I don't really have, despite having quite a lot of characters in the game, is Kokomi. And the biggest reason is because I have Ayaka and Shenhe, so I do like to have a better off-field Hydro driver, unlike compared to Mona, obviously, because my Mona is kind of... I don't know if anyone runs Mona like me, but my Mona is essentially running a build of what I like to call the budget Kokomi. As you can see here with that healing bonus, she's running an R5 prototype Amber with 4 Maidens. And yes, this does actually heal a good amount, and it does boost the healing received by your entire party, because as you can see here, the prototype Amber passive basically heals the entire team by a certain percentage of their HP, which I believe this is max of 3 procs, so that's 18% HP from my understanding, or for your entire team, which is better than nothing, because Mona, you just want to do the damage buff from her elemental burst, right? So Kokomi, I'll just put some footage in the background from the teaser, whatnot, and some gameplay when I do my streamers, my Viewers Abyss on stream. Go check that out if you want to. Sell out real quick. Kokomi is a character that is, you know, it's one of the better Hydro characters, but yet again, aside from maybe Candice, I don't think there really is an actual bad Hydro character. And yes, I do mean Barbara is actually not as bad as people make it out to be. I don't know how the community feels about Barbara, but in certain situations or certain teams like Nilo Bloom, she can be really helpful to be that second Hydro character to trigger Hydro Resonance, which boosts your team's HP. And the healing is also very nice. And plus C6 Barbara basically revives someone if someone falls, right? So Kokomi is basically the better version of Barbara, and I think right now is one of the 2 best off-field Hydro applicator aside from Ayato, but Ayato, you do want to care a bit about damage and his ER, so it's a bit annoying, while Kokomi has it in the form of a jellyfish. Obviously, we do have the artifact set, the 4-piece Ocean Hued Clam located in Inazuma, and that is her best in-slot artifact, unless you want to run a Tenacity Kokomi in a perma-freeze team, which is what I'm intending to do. However, I do want to have a second option to run an Ocean Hued Clam Kokomi. So overall, Kokomi is pretty nice because her jellyfish does heal pretty well, and it does stay on field for quite a good duration. I believe it's about 10 to 15 seconds. And that's probably one of the main reasons why I want to get her, because I just want an off-field Hydro applicator, given that I don't actually have Ayato. So yeah, 12 seconds right there. And if you use her elemental burst, I believe it does reset or refresh the duration of the jellyfish. And on top of that, she looks pretty good. For overworld, I think she's a very nice, comfy character to use because you don't have to worry about falling. Just drop in the jellyfish and your team will be healing quite consistently, and you also get really good Hydro application within that small medium range area. And in Abyss or in meta teams, say like running Permafreeze, or you could even run her in Bloom teams, I think she is pretty good. So yeah, that aside, I'm probably gonna try to pull for Kokomi, so I guess wish me luck on that side. And if you guys are trying to pull for Wanderer and Kokomi, I wish you all the best of luck. I can't really say much aside from she looks really good. She has some really good teams, and I'm going to be attempting her when her banner, the rerun, comes around next Tuesday. So before I end off this video, just a quick disclaimer, you don't really have to pull for anything. There's a reason why people say waifu over meta, because the meta is basically non-existent. Well, it's only based on like how many things that the characters can do and how well they're able to do it. And even then, that's within the context of Abyss and not the overworld, because the overworld is just really easy. So don't feel pressured to pull, but if you are watching this video and watching me explaining all the points that I feel like these characters have, like the strong points or whatever makes them look attractive or look fun to play, and that convinces you to pull, I wish you the best of luck in your summons. Anyways, that is a one-take, unscripted video. I will probably do this next time in the future because I'm too lazy to edit. I'll probably just add like some footage and a little bit of gameplay in the background, and hopefully by the time the Kokomi banner comes out next week, I'll win 50-50 and actually get her and add her to my collection, because I'm playing this game like I'm playing Pokemon, trying to collect every single one of them into my Pokédex. That is the end of the video. I wish you guys the best of luck, and if you've made your mind on whether you should pull for either Wanderer or Kokomi, Good luck on that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.